Hello and welcome to Highly Questionable. Bobby, how do you say Jamel in Spanish?
Jamel is
Okay,
Jamel.
very good. Jamel Hill is with us. What are you excited about today, Jamel?
I'm excited about the fact that after the show, I'm going to go on Instagram, go deep in the comment section, and like all the negative things people say about you.
I thought he was going to call her Gemele. Not Bobby.
How should the NFL feel about its new anthem policy today?
Are we allowed to find the funny in this in 2018? The idea that most of the Eagles weren't going to the White House anyway. It was going to be 10 and a mascot and the owner. Again, there was a meeting and they decided to send the mascot. I don't know how the guy in that costume feels about the fact that there weren't going to be any Eagles there other than him, the owner, and the other 10 players who decided to go. But today at 3 o'clock, the ceremony was going to be the playing of the anthem and other wonderful music. And I'm just saying, why stop there if you're going to troll the Eagles? Why not just bring out actual Eagles? Why not bring out the band, the Eagles? If you're just trying to bother people with what you're doing, you made the NFL kneel on this one. You win, and today you're taking a victory lap.
Well, before I bring some levity to this situation, I'll just say this. If you're the NFL, you feel even more embarrassed about this anthem policy than you did when it initially came out. And much like has been the case throughout the entire controversy, is that Donald Trump has masterfully hijacked this issue to become a major talking point. So as much as people have tried to make this about the anthem, maybe it's about the fact that it wasn't that long ago that the president got before a rally and he called all NFL players SOBs, and that might be why they weren't so willing to go there to the White House and turn this into some kind of ceremonial event.
If we're respecting the question, how should they feel today? They feel like they got used, right? They sat there in depositions and told you. None of them wanted to be in depositions. They told you that the president squeezed them on this. It wasn't any more about this story. It was about just they were in the news. They didn't like it. The president was keeping them in the news. So what happens? The Eagles keep them in the news by not going. And Trump turns up the volume, literally, on a music festival that includes the national anthem, that just takes the victory lap all around this story because he gets to win on this story. Nobody else does.
I just want to know, how deep do you get down the employee directory where you're talking about who's going to the White House that you get to the mascot? Did they skip over all the executive assistants? Did they skip over all the janitorial personnel? Like, how bad is it that you have to dig deep and say, all right, that's it, we're bringing the mascot?
Is it good or bad for Brian Colangelo that the 76ers have hired a law firm to investigate him?
I mean, okay, am I missing something? How can that be good for Brian Colangelo? Like, we don't know what's happened with Brian Colangelo, and the fact that they haven't fired him yet suggests they're going to get all the facts. This law firm is going to charge them a great deal for this objectivity, and they are going to get to the facts. We'll have the truth soon enough. This is good for us, and it's good for the league. I can't see how it's good in any way for Brian Colangelo, though, for the Philadelphia 76ers, the team that has him in power, paying attorneys a lot of money to investigate whether or not he should be fired.
Well, Dan, here's where it could possibly be good for Brian Colangelo, is that maybe he's thinking, okay, because they didn't fire me outright, that means they need to dig for cause. And if they have to dig for cause, and I've already thrown my wife under the bus, maybe there's no smoking gun that leads back to me, and the law firm reports, hey, I know what this guy did, how it looks, but here's the thing, unless you want to pay him a whole lot of money and have even more egg on your face, you can't possibly fire him. So he could wind up, in a weird way, legally being vindicated.
I know somebody that is going to clean up in this deal, you know? And I tell you something, this guy is trying to get in, and he's trying to get in very, very fast, you know what I mean? And this guy is not the partner in this law firm, you know? And you know who that person is?
Who is that person, Poppy? Ted Wells!
Ted Wells! That's the guy!
Such a bad joke that I did it before he did.
Would it be crazy for Kyler Murray to continue to play football?
Did you see Joe Thomas on First Take today? He looks like a Kenyan marathoner. He's lost so much weight since being a Hall of Fame left tackle because he had to get out of the sport and get himself healthy. So anybody making the argument that the Oklahoma quarterback should go into anything other than baseball, which is safer, obviously that sounds like it's not a very prudent financial decision. It's not a very prudent injury and health-related decision. I don't know the argument you'd make for football beyond, hey, they've changed the rules and maybe at quarterback you love playing so much that it'd be worth it to you.
Raising my hand because I'm about to make the argument that he should play football. Here's the thing, Dan, when you were 20-something, you're his age, you always thought you were invincible. Think about this. At 20-something, what means a lot to you? Having a big platform, getting a little shine, being famous. Guess what's more famous? Is it being the quarterback of Oklahoma football, a big-time college program, or is it going to a minor league situation where you're in a town that you probably haven't heard of and you're going to fall into relative obscurity even though you may have the money? I know for a lot of people who look at the safety concerns of football, it seems like a no-brainer. You look at the money, that seems like a no-brainer too. But he can play another year of football at Oklahoma, still pocket the change. If you're him, you probably would deep down the road regret the fact that you didn't give yourself an opportunity to take over as Oklahoma's signal caller and have that big-time college football experience.
Many high school athletes pick their colleges based on the school colors. So if what she's saying is so, that a kid this young would simply want the fame and glory and the money, that is something that a college kid would do. It's why you go to college, so that you can learn to not do dumb things like that.
Baker Mayfield wishes he would be playing baseball now because he wouldn't have to be in Cleveland and playing football.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
You got to play in Cleveland, you got to live in Cleveland, and that's
That's
real bad.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you can commute in, but...
Do you buy that the Steve Adams fat fingers are to blame for leaking an Instagram shot at Melo?
I don't know how you feel, Jamel, about where we are as journalists and professional craftsmen, that this is the kind of story that passes for sports journalism in 2018. The Instagram liking of things, was it legitimate or was it an accident? Steve Adams is here to tell you that the thing that he liked on Instagram, that basically he was more valuable to the Thunder than Melo, where he's saying he liked it. There it is. Who's more valuable? He likes it. He's got to apologize. It was a mistake based on fat fingers. I just wonder if there's anybody in the world we believe when the thing is controversial that it was actually a mistake, because I don't feel like we'd ever believe them.
I feel like the far more interesting thing about this story is how knee-deep and how far down the rabbit hole these players are going in the comment section. That means that they're literally sitting there all the time and scrolling and scrolling. And when you do that, you run the risk of accidentally liking something. Also, it reminds me of something comedian Dave Chappelle said. Is it a stereotype if it's true? There was a lot of truth to what he liked. So should he be apologizing for basically liking the truth? I thought that was a part of journalism as well.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello? Who is this? Ted? Ted Wells. Ted Wells. Ted Wells.
Why is Ted Wells?
Yeah, Ted, well, you think that Melo should hire your law firm to investigate this Instagram deal?
Of course.
Yeah?
Of course.
Let's get to the bottom of this.
He needs a real heavyweight, eh?
Yes, the
Okay.
banana phone.
Listen, Ted, are you busy with the other stuff that you're doing?
Hey, Poppy, hang up the phone. Hang up on Ted, Poppy.
You're always looking for new business.
Papi,
5 to
hang up,
6 minutes.
please.
All right, all
Cuelga
right,
el teléfono,
Ted,
por
Papi.
favor. Cuelga el teléfono.
Do the Warriors have a legitimate beef with Kendrick Perkins' legs?
Oh, the legs of Kendrick Perkins. I will give him the finals MVP if he manages to injure an important Warrior with those legs in a suit on the sideline. I feel like he was signed just for this purpose, to scowl and sit like that around the ankles of Steph Curry, because the advanced scouting says if you get the ankles of Steph Curry, Jamel, you're more likely to beat the Warriors. And then, of course, that's a sensitive spot for the Warriors. And Kendrick does what he always does. He's kind of like a mascot face that way. It's always menacing, even when he's feeling delight.
Well, that's the thing that's so interesting about this is that, look, this is about the fact that the Warriors, understandably so, they go into a bit of a panic. Everybody does, because you're talking about Steph Curry, who's had a number of ankle injuries, and you talk about Kendrick Perkins, who's known as a bit of a goon. Although he's in a suit, and as Steph Curry, which I think is the best part of this video, looks him up and down and says, "You're not playing today." Wow, Steph Curry decided to totally boss up on Kendrick Perkins. That is something I never thought that I would see in 2018.
I want to revisit this video, though. Does anyone sit like this in their living room? Please explain to me. Describe this. How is he sitting? Nobody sits like this. No professional athlete. How would you describe that, Jamel?
Well, clearly, Dan, you haven't ridden a New York subway in a while, but that is called man-spreading, where instead of just sitting like so, you sit like so. It's your way of marking your territory. That'll get him cussed out on the subway.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello? Hey, Ted, how are you again? Ted Wells, Ted Wells.
Jeez.
Yeah, Ted. Yeah? Nah. Yeah, you do that? You take money to 5 million to sit on the bench on a suit and do nothing? Yeah, you really think so? Eh? Well, I'll tell you. I'll pass it way around. Yeah, no problem. Is Mike Fiers right that the whiffer was childish last night?
Okay, Mike Fiers looks real bad in this situation because 2014, he basically exploded the face of Giancarlo Stanton. It's about the worst thing that can happen in that sport. Stanton was wrecked for a bit. Fiers seems like he has regret there. Stanton found himself in a place where he was hearing pitches end up in the catcher's mitt, and he was never seeing them at all, and that's how he was playing Major League Baseball. So last night, this happens, where Fiers again hits Giancarlo Stanton and up in the zone. And Stanton doesn't like that, and that seems like a reasonable amount of being upset given what happened to you, and Fiers is stepping to him, and there's no decency here. There's no apology that, hey, sorry I exploded your face. And then 3 innings later, Giancarlo Stanton ends up getting his revenge in the best way possible. That's 454 feet of revenge. I don't know, 2 pitch to boot. And he points back at Fiers, and then this is what Fiers says after the game, where he just smears the entire character of the guy whose face he exploded.
I understand that he's pissed, but the way he handled it, I think it was kind of childish. I mean, anybody knows, watching this game that, I'm not throwing at him. So, he's going to act how he's going to act, and, but it kind of shows kind of his character because obviously I wasn't throwing at him. Pitch was in, and, if I could throw a pitch anywhere I wanted every time, I'd probably be one of the best pitchers in this game. So, I got to throw in, I got to throw up, I got to throw it everywhere and keep these guys, making good contact with it. And, so be it. Like I said, I'm not trying to hit anybody, but, I definitely got to throw in, and, those things happen every once in a while.
Here's the thing. Once you hit somebody in the face with a baseball, you kind of lose the moral high ground here. The other part of this, there's a difference between being childish and being understandably petty. What Giancarlo Stanton was doing was being understandably petty. I don't know about you guys out there. Somebody hits me in the face. I don't care if it's 5 minutes ago, 5 years ago, 50 years ago. I'm going to remember it for the rest of my life. And that pitch was coming a little too close to where Giancarlo Stanton felt like he needed to send a message.
Did any of you find as funny as I did that he was saying if I could throw a pitch wherever I wanted, and the graphic beneath him had an ERA of 4.5?
Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
5 minutes into things.
Oh.
James Neal.
Yeah. That's going to haunt him in his dreams.
Oh, my God. I mean,
there's
how? Oh, it's the same as the last hockey highlight we just showed.
Wait a minute.
My Son's TV show is presented by Jimmy Jones, Freak, yeah, and in part by the makers of Aleve, Back and Muscle Pain, all day strong, all day long. Time to play the game that never leave a paper trail. Do you question?
You give us the topics and events, and we question them.
Do you question if this batter deserves to get drilled his next time up?
You know how you know you're old when you're in sports coverage? When you remember Eric Young Sr. and then you learn that his son, Eric Young Jr., has been in the major leagues for 9 years but is now in AAA. And also in AAA, at first base, another guy who has been in the big leagues for 9 years, Gordon Beckham. And so here we go.
Oh, that'll fool him.
Gonna make you tag it. Yeah, you're gonna make it. All right, and I'm just going to
reverse it. Huh?
Yeah, now try and get past it. Oh, okay. That ended an anticlimax.
That was not a smart eye. Who goes backwards?
No, I mean,
like, really?
All right, so what's the question again? Do you question if this batter deserved to get drilled the next time up? Come on, man. Eric Young is in the major leagues for 9 years and is now playing down there and hitting dribblers to first. He's suffered enough, man.
Well, you guys, we shouldn't be making fun of this. I've seen this strategy work.
No, you have not.
No.
No, it's never worked. Oh, this is a place that it would work, yeah. But how does it work? Thank you, Bucky. Here come the runs.
Oh.
Yes, yes, yes.
Brilliant.
Let all the runs score. There was a runner on second.
Tire him out.
Yes. Yes. Bring everyone home. That's an excellent third base coach over there. Jackie McMullen sending that runner home.
It didn't occur to him. Maybe I should just hang the base. You think?
3 RBIs on that play. The bases were loaded.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Do you question if the goal was too open?
The Vegas Golden Knights, it looks like that story's about to end, and Washington is all caps. 1 game away from winning. But let's check in last night as Washington wins big with James Neal. What happened here? First period, 0-0, 5 minutes into things.
Oh.
James Neal.
Yeah. That's going to haunt him in his dreams.
Oh, my God. I mean,
there's how do you miss that?
Oh. Ah.
And they did lose 6-2, so.
I know, but it was 0-0 there.
Oh, that's a bad one.
Well, that was pretty bad, but I've been thinking about that, and I've seen worse.
You have not seen worse.
Okay.
How do you have these videos immediately of all his thoughts? How does that happen? No,
He's not even looking.
No.
Tell me he didn't miss it.
My father has seen
Wow.
worse.
Okay. Poppy was right. That
Poppy,
is way worse.
That is, however, not...
You taking a Gatorade break?
Yeah, that's not the NHL Finals, though. But you don't know with J.R. Smith if it's the NBA Finals.
Do you question if this was a good effort?
Okay, the producers of this show are the laziest in the entire business. So they just said to me, no idea what country this is from. And the question is, do you question if this was a good effort? Let's check the good effort in some other country. Oh, it's the same as the last hockey highlight we just showed.
Wait a minute. I think the kick was worse than the dive. Because at least he just got faked out. What is his excuse for missing that? That was terrible.
Yes, it was terrible.
Jeez.
You see, guys, I've been here for a long time. I've seen a lot of videos, and I tell you one thing. That looks pretty bad, but I think that I have seen worse.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, look at that.
I mean, he's right.
Okay,
He's
once
right.
again.
I mean, my father keeps doing this.
He's
where-
batting 1,000.
I mean,
He's right. That is
he's
worse.
right. What is that?
What was he looking at?
I mean, there was clearly somebody in the stands that he wanted to hit in the head with a ball.
TV show is presented by Jimmy Jones. Freak, yeah! Time to play the game that thinks tater tots are the same as hash browns. See? Oh no?
They are, right? Sort of? No? You tell us what to watch on television tonight. We tell you if we're intrigued.
Right now on ESPNU, the NCAA Baseball Regionals.
Poppy, what is one of the nicknames you had when you were younger?
El Flaco.
Okay, it was Jumbo. This is Jumbo here. People called him Jumbo. This is Jace Jumbo Chamberlain.
I wonder why they call him Jumbo. Wild guess.
Deep right
Okay,
center.
and yeah, there it is. He's Jumbo.
There. And Chamberlain
Poppy, how do
has
you
won
forget
it.
your own nickname? They just told you this guy's name was Jumbo. Look, he's obviously named Jumbo. Yes, everybody loves
He
this.
got some speed. Are you
Yes, he
kidding
does
me?
have some speed. Good commentary.
He's back.
Yeah.
Look at that guy.
Right.
Oh, and a mohawk. Oh, yes.
Twist.
Look at this. Plot twist.
Got the confident mohawk hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a mohawk mullet. I'm in.
El Flaco. Jamel, are you intrigued?
Yes, and because he's named after Jambalaya. Even though Gumbo's better, still I respect it.
Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. I tell you, that kid got power. I don't care what he's eating. He got power. He goes deep. When he goes deep, he goes deep. That's the proof. That's the proof that he can go deep. You know, I'm telling you, when he hits the ball, he hit it with everything he got.
Yeah.
That was his first homer of his career. Seriously.
That's it?
Was it
That was
really?
the first one.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
I can't believe that.
It's hard to believe.
Tonight on ABC, Jimmy Kimmel Live.
This was just explained in my headset. This is Jimmy Kimmel with both Isaiah Thomases, and the way it was explained to me is the Hall of Famer and the regular one. I'm sure tiny little Isaiah Thomas likes the application of the regular one. Let's see what we have here.
What is the name of this alien? Do you know the name of that alien?
God, I've watched that numerous times too. I'm like the Cavs. I'm gonna get swept.
Wow. That's pretty good good right there. I also am with him, though. I know what that is, and I don't know what its name is. Jamel, are you intrigued?
Yes. You don't know Marvin the Martian?
I'm sorry? Yes, thank you. I'm
Oh,
sorry
my
for being
gosh.
so
Look
ignorant.
at
I couldn't
this.
remember his name. I'm forgetting names today. Poppy, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. But listen, I think that Isaiah is mad because LeBron wore his pants for game 1 and 2.
That's the best line of the show right there. There it is. There is LeBron James wearing the pants that Isaiah Thomas left behind before LeBron traded him months ago.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
That's a great joke by my father. Imagine that they were Isaiah Thomas's pants. Thank you for watching.
You know what he's predicting, don't you?
What?
The same thing I'm predicting. Sweep, sweep.
There's my father. Jamel is just learning that he doesn't know how to use a broom.